Today in our Infinite Campus class, we talked about setting up Infinite Campus for the school year, but I didn't get a chance to get into creating assignments. A few staff members have asked for some information, so I figured I'd throw together a video in order to help out. Now, a couple of things to consider when we're setting up our grades. First of all, there is no need to duplicate efforts. You can create an assignment and have it apply to multiple classes. Make sure that when you're viewing a term and you create an assignment, that the term and the assignment are the same. Every year I find multiple teachers who make the mistake of creating something in term 1 when they're in term 2 or term 4, and then they remake it and they make it a third time, and it does tend to cause a lot of extra work for the teachers. So be mindful of that. Also think about the type of assignments you're creating and how it's going to impact the student grades. I'm going to talk about that and how it applies to our next point, school behavior grade, the common practice that we have at Pine, and something for you to keep in mind. So let's get into a standard grade. Now, in the system, there is a button called Add. When I put my cursor over it, an icon appears that says Create a New Assignment. When I click it, I'm going to get a menu in order to do the following. So I will have, for example, home packet for day 2, whatever that means. That would be the full assignment name that would not only appear in Infinite Campus, on any grade reports, on the IC portal, the long view, but you also need to give an abbreviation, a specific abbreviation, so that you can quickly and other people can quickly identify the assignment. Could be HP2. This is 5 characters limit. Over here, the exact class it's going to apply to. Now, I chose my student aid class in order to start this, but maybe I've got 3 student aids. If I click Add or Remove, a new menu appears and it asks me, are there any other classes that I want to apply this assignment to? Well, sure, I want to apply it to my other 2 student aids. You can see on the right column called Section List, it says which classes are going to receive this assignment. I have the ability to remove it, or I could come back over here, click Add, and bring another one over. You'll notice not only do I have all 3 classes listed, but I have the assign date and the due date. Now, if I want, I can use this drop-down menu and give the exact same assign date. If I do it up in the gray area, it copies down to all the classes below. Same thing with the due date. I can make it for Friday. If I want to specifically assign, for example, my second class that is student aid, a separate date, no big deal. I can change the date very quickly by clicking the calendar, make it do completely different times. That's up to you. In the category, this goes back to what we did for setting up. What type of grade is this? Is this an overall grade? Is it a behavior? Perhaps you have an assignment in your core class or your encore class that is a weighted grade, such as classwork or assessment. That will all be listed there. You want to make sure you choose the right category so we can give the right point value. In this case, it's overall grade. Over here comes the points. Bear in mind a couple of things. One, homework is generally 10% of a student's grade. That's generally the limit. There are a couple of exceptions at the school, but it's about 10% of the grade. So even if you were to go very high on a point value for a homework, for example, it would only affect 10%. Call this a 15-point assignment. I'll hit save. And when I go back to the grade book, there it is. In fact, if I hold my cursor over, it gives me the information. And if I had students in this section, I could type their scores here and it would auto-populate the grades. Let's talk a little bit about behavior, because behavior is something that we all need to provide all of our students as a grade every quarter. And of course, that will continue through each of the 2 semesters. Most teams and most teachers tend to do 1 behavior assignment a week. They tend to collect that data and then at the end of the week award points. My team, for example, does a 10-point system where we lay out to the students exactly how they earn those points, and if they don't match those things, for example, last year, creating their behavior goals for the week, reporting on those behavior goals, participation in any of the advisory activities, things like that, that they do have to complete. So we'll call this behavior for week 1, or you could even go quarter 1 behavior for week 1. So we got Q1, week 1, just simple for me in order to reference exactly where I'm going to be placing this assignment. Add remove, because I know every class is going to get this behavior grade, even my aides, even my advisory. I can go ahead and click add all, or I can add them individually. If I click add all, what a surprise, they're all on there. And you will see it's already starting to get a little concerned. So I would want to make sure if I got this error message that I go ahead and deal with whatever class I forgot to include in the behavior. It's still giving me errors. I wonder what it could be. So I can go ahead on those classes where it doesn't have that category and have the system automatically remove it. Just like I said before, you can set the dates and it can apply to everyone if you so desire, or you can change the dates for individual. Don't forget again, the category here, you're going to want to drop down and select behavior, and then whatever points you select. If you have any questions, lots of teachers are familiar with this system. Do talk to your team of teachers on your interdisciplinary team. Find out if there is a general policy, and please let me know if you have any questions.